This is a presentation by Blank Quilting on how fabric is made. And if you have questions, I can't answer them, but Greg can. Because when he was growing up, his dad would make them go work in the factory in Oxford, North Carolina, near where I'm from, and work in the plant, so he got to see all these processes. I did not see all these processes. I just looked at the pictures like you, but I'm going to tell you about it. Okay, we're ready. Down with the lights. Making the cloth, an overview of how fabric is made. The raw cotton arrives to the plant. You see it, big bales there. As an aside, my grandfather did grow cotton, and there was 2 bales left on the property, and one was sold off in the 60s, and my dad sold the last one about 10 years ago. And they were wrapped in burlap, and I was really sad to see them go. It was like, you know, part of an era was gone. It was in the 30s that my grandfather raised it. Okay, this is called drawing. This is the process of making a regular string out of the raw cotton. It involves mixing a yarn in a specific ratio. The process reduces a soft mass of fiber into a firm, uniform strand of usable size. This is the carding, the process of removing foreign matter from yarn. This is a mechanical process that disentangles, cleans, and intermixes the fibers to produce a continuous web suitable for subsequent processing. These pictures were taken in Korea, where we have all of our fabric printed. South Korea. There you go. Thank you, Greg. South Korea. This is the combing process. It removes remaining foreign matter and it straightens the yarn using tension. This prepares the carded fiber for spinning. This is the spinning. This process makes yarn a specific size by twisting together drawn out strands of fiber. This is the sizing process. It coats the yarn so it can be woven without being cut while weaving. This process renders the yarn weavable. The warping process. Weaving by wrapping yarns around a cylinder, which is called a beam. In weaving cloth, the warp is the set of lengthwise yarns that are held in tension on a frame or loop, and the yarn that is inserted over and under is called, the warp is called the weft. And I always think of warp, because it has the letter A in it, is the long length of thread. That's where you get your length of grain that has no give when you pull on it. And the weft, so A is first, you do the long threads first. E is in the word weft, and that's the one that goes back and forth. As it goes back and forth, it turns the corner and goes back. And they switch the threads, it turns the corner and goes back. So that's why your selvages are no raw edges. The selvages are actually one thread long and then the other is curved. And of course in quilting, we encourage quilters to cut off the selvage because it's drawn tight. Next is the weaving. The weaving with spun yarn, a method of textile production in which 2 distinct sets of yarns or threads are interlaced at right angles to form a fabric or cloth. So in a peppered cotton from Studioe, we have warp in one direction and weft, warp in one color and weft in another color, and that's where you get the intermixing of the colors and it looks very different. What we're demonstrating here is basically white. All of our South Korean prints start out with regular cotton, white, and then we add the color to give the prints. So next is preparing the artwork, an overview of how the designs are put onto the fabric. And you'll see that little picture, those cute little dogs, is one of our new designs that you can see at market. This is the New York office. The textile designs are created by our staff using CAD designers. I was just up there a couple of weeks ago. This is what it looks like. There's little papers hanging all over the walls with all these cute designs. Next is the computer-aided design engraving. So the textile designs are sent to the plant to be engraved, and this process transfers the digital files to the film. The engraving is double checked. The screens are made after engraving. Screen printing is by far the most common technology today. Two types exist: rotary screen printing for simpler designs and mass printing and flatbed screen printing for more difficult designs. Next, the film is inspected before making the strike-off. This ensures that the design is in fit. A paper strike-off is made by hand, and then the paper strike-off is inspected before they do a final strike-off on the fabric. A regulating machine is used for coloring strike-offs. This machine controls the dye stuff and the colors. I don't know if you can see all those tubes, but that just looks like fascinating to me, working with all those colors. The color tabs are printed for each strike-off. Each color tab represents a screen. A design can have a maximum of 18 screens. Small yardages are printed as an initial test run before proceeding to the bulk printing. The colors are adjusted for production. That looks like a very messy process. A small steamer is used to set the color on the strike-offs before final production can begin. And then printing the cloth. That's also another one of our new fabrics coming out. Preparation machine. This prepares the goods for printing. Fabrics must be without any type of impurity that might compromise printing. I'm sure you've seen fabrics where you've got a little piece of yarn that's on the outside, and when you lift up that little piece of yarn, underneath is white. Yeah, that's a flaw. Printing. The screen printing is a printing technique whereby a mesh is used to transfer the ink onto a substrate, except in areas made impermeable by a blocking stencil. Next is printing. One color is printed at a time. Several screens can be used to produce a multicolored image or design. And the steamer. The fabrics are steamed to ensure color fastness and washability. A rinsing machine removes the dye stuffs and the stains. These are a whole lot of processes. Wouldn't you like to educate your customers on this? Because they will understand why fabric costs $12 a yard. Calendar gives luster to the fabrics. Not all of our quilting fabrics are calendared, but some are. Sanfordizing machine shrinks the fabric. It's also called the anti-shrinking finishing process. Next is the chincing machine that gives the fabric a special finish. Stiffer, water repellent, luster when required. And that may be for more like home deck type fabrics. Next is tintering machines. It fixes the width and dries the goods. As fabric passes through a heated chamber, creases and wrinkles are removed, the weave is straightened, and the fabric is dried to its final size. And that is another one of our cute fabrics coming out. It is an adorable line. Final inspection and shipping. An overview of how fabric is inspected and shipped. Inspection of final goods and rollings. The rolls are usually 60 to 200 yards maximum. They inspect the final goods. The goods are held at the warehouse after final rolling. I don't know how they don't fall down. Isn't that interesting? Heavy. The goods are moved from the mill for shipping. They're rolled on tubes, and they are received at our warehouse in either New Jersey for Blank or South Carolina for Studio E. These are the end boards that we use to put them on the ends. They're double enrolling that process to get them from the rolls to how you get them in the store in bolts. Those are the cardboards. They also have to print all the labels. We don't have a picture of that. Now we have a video. I took this video when I was in the Seneca warehouse in South Carolina. And this one man kept walking in front of me, but we're going to see if we can play it for you. The point is, it's really fast.
Yeah, we slowed it down.
Yeah, it's faster than that.
They get paid for speed.
And now you see why your fabric sometimes is a little dirty, because a little piece fell on the floor there. Did you see that? And then when she starts again, it gets pulled up. This is the person that kept walking in front of me. And I moved to another machine and taped it again, and he did it again. It's like, okay, you just want to be in the movies. But this is super fast. So they're paid production for the double enrolling. So a good, fast double enroller can make good money. But they're standing on concrete, and it's hard work. If I had this job, trust me, I would buy one of those thick mats to stand on. The bolts then get wrapped and sealed in plastic in preparation for shipping. And then they're placed on the shelves. You'll see all the little sticky places. That's where they put all the part numbers. And they'll have one whole collection. We'll go down a portion of an aisle. The aisles are very long and tall. And those are very full shelves. You can help us with that. Anybody have questions? Everybody wake up. Did you learn anything? Yeah? If you are interested in having your sales rep, we do have this presentation available if you would like to share it with your customers at a special event or something, or a guild, as a guild presentation. You can contact your blank rep.